So now we are going to discuss JEE Main physics paper, which is shifted to September 5th paper. Okay, now let us discuss the first question. A ring is hung on a nail. It can oscillate without slipping or sliding. Number 1, in its plane with a time period t1 and back and forth in a direction perpendicular to its plane with a time period t2. Then the ratio of t1 by t2 will be oscillate along this direction, to and fro along this direction, but in this case this ring oscillate back and forth. So in this case the time period is t2. Now moment of inertia of a ring, about tangent, I2 is equal to what we write here. We write here mr square by 2 plus mr square, that is equal to, we write here 3 by 2 mr square, 3 by 2 mr square, 3 by 2 mr square. So let us see, this is a ring. In first case the ring is oscillate along this direction, this is a nail, but in second case the ring oscillates perpendicular to its plane. Perpendicular to its plane means how much? Like this, it oscillates like this, perpendicular to its plane. In first case it oscillates like this, So here the moment of inertia of a ring about tangent I2 is equal to 3 by 2, what we write here, mr square, 3 by 2 mr square. Now we know that time period of a ring in rotatory motion t is equal to 2 pi square root of I by mgd. D means what? Distance from axis of rotation to CM, axis of rotation to this center of mass, axis of rotation to center of mass. So here t proportional to root I. So this does not change, this does not change, this does not change, t proportional to root I. Now we write here t1 by t2 is equal to, what we write here, t1 by t2 is equal to square root of I1 by I2, So t1 by t2 is equal to, here I1 means what? I1 means here moment of inertia of a ring, is equal to how much? Moment of inertia of a ring in its plane, that is equal to here 2 mr square divided by moment of inertia of a ring about tangent, that is equal to what we write here 3 by 2 mr square, that is equal to t1 by t2 is equal to, we write here 4 by 3, that is equal to 2 by root 3. So this is the answer of first question. So here in this case you have to care about axis. This here In the first case, the axis is this, axis is this. Okay, the ring oscillates like this, the ring oscillates like this. In the second case, the ring oscillates into the paper and outside the paper along this perpendicular to its plane, perpendicular to its plane. So, you have to find out the moment of inertia in two cases, So, now let us discuss another question, that is question number 2. The correct match between entries in the column 1 and column 2 are. So, there are different electromagnetic waves are given: microwaves, gamma rays, AM radio waves, X-rays. So, right side the given wavelength 100 meters, 10 to the power of minus 15 meters, 10 to the power of minus 10 meters, 10 to the power of minus 3 meters. So, now we want to match these electromagnetic waves with the correct wavelength. We know that gamma rays has more energy than X-rays, and X-rays has more energy than microwaves. And microwaves have more energy than radio waves. These are the energies order. So, the wavelength, definitely the rays which has more energy has less wavelength. The waves which has high energy, less energy, which has more wavelength. Here radio waves has less energy, gamma rays has high energy. So, that we write wavelength order: lambda wavelength of gamma rays less than wavelength of X-rays. Wavelength of X-rays less than wavelength of microwaves. Microwaves wavelength less than radio waves. Who has more wavelength? Who has more wavelength? Radio waves. We know that radio waves has more wavelength. Okay. So, this is our answer. Lambda gamma less than lambda x less than lambda microwaves less than lambda radio waves. This is our correct answer. So, our correct option is option 3. Option 3 is our correct option. So, now we are going to discuss another question. In an experiment to verify Stokes' law, a small spherical ball of radius r and density rho falls under a gravity through a distance h in a air before entering a tank of water. If the terminal velocity of the ball inside the water is same as its velocity just before entering into the water surface, the value of h is proportional to. So, this is a water tank. This is a water tank. A spherical ball, this is a spherical ball, is falling from certain height h. So, before entering into the water, its velocity is, before entering into the water is just 2gh, square root of 2gh. So, after touches the water surface, it will travel in a liquid with terminal velocity square root of 2gh. That means velocity does not change. So, it travel with the same velocity. It travel with how much velocity? Same velocity. So, here that means what is meant by terminal velocity? Terminal velocity is nothing but it is a velocity at which net force acting on a body is 0. Net force acting on a body is 0. So, this is equal to V. Here V is equal to, we write Vt. V is equal to, we write how much, right? Vt. So, Vt is equal to 2 by 9. Right here R square G. R square G, density of the body minus density of the liquid divided by what we write neta. That is equal to, we write here this is equal to 2gh. 2gh. So, squaring on both sides. Whenever we square on both sides, what we get here? So, squaring on both sides, SBS. Squaring on both sides, h is directly proportional to r power 4. H is directly proportional to how much? R power 4. H is directly proportional to r power 4. So, our option is option 1. Option 1. So, this is our answer. So, let us say another problem. There are 10 charges are placed on the circumference of a circle of radius r. These are the 10 charges are placed with a constant angular separation between successive charges. Alternate charges are 1, 3, 5, 7 have charges plus q each. 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9 have charges, positive charges, and 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 have negative charges. Now, we want to find out the potential V and electric field E at the center of the circle R respectively. Now, we want to find out the potential V at the center of the circle. So, here the potential V at the center of the circle is, so Vc is equal to k into sigma q by r. So, Vc is equal to what we write here. So, Vc is equal to 0. There are 5 positive charges and 5 negative charges, net charge is 0. So, here the potential is 0 at the center. But what is the electric field at the center? Now, we are going to discuss electric field at the center. So, here electric field at the center, that means here see this, this is a positive charge and this is negative charge. So, the resultant electric field is 2E. This is E and this is E along this direction, and this is negative charge and this is a positive charge. The resultant electric field is along this direction, that is also 2E. So, likewise this is positive charge, this is negative charge, the resultant field is along this direction 2E. So, here this is a positive charge and this is a negative charge, the resultant electric field 2E along this direction. Right here this is a positive charge, this is a negative charge, the resultant electric field is along this direction. So, these are 5 equal vectors, 5 equal electric field vectors with a equal angular separation. So, what are the angle between them is 72 degrees here. This is also 72 and this is 72. They are in equal angular separation. So, here equal electric field vectors acting at equal angle. So, that according to vector rule, their resultant. So, their resultant is 0. The resultant is 0. Oh, there is one important concept in the vectors. If n vectors of equal magnitude, if n vector of equal magnitude arrange at equal angles, then the resultant is 0. Then the resultant is 0. That is concept to be used here. So, that what is our answer is V equals 0 and E equals 0. Our option is option 1. Option 1. Now, let us discuss another question. A spaceship in space sweeps stationary interplanetary dust. As a result, its mass increases at the rate of dm by dt is equal to bv square, where vt is instantaneous velocity, the instantaneous acceleration of the satellite is. So, in space there is no external force, only thrust force is acting, only thrust force is acting on a satellite. So, we know that dm by dt, here they give bv square, bv square, v is the function of time. So, F thrust force is acting, thrust force is equal to, here this is velocity is constant. So, here mass is increasing at the rate of, mass is increasing with respect to time. So, we write here dm by dt into v, F thrust force is equal to dm by dt into v. Okay. Now, we know that F is equal to dp by dt, F is equal to dp by dt, P is equal to mv. If the mass is increasing with respect to time, we write F is equal to dm by dt into v. So, now, but F is equal to what we write here, ma. So, ma is equal to, we write here dm by dt according to given problem, what they given, bv square into v, bv square into v. So, when the satellite catches the dust, its mass is increases. So, it moves with deceleration, retardation. So, we put here minus sign. So, A is equal to, we write here minus bvq divided by m. So, this is the deceleration of the satellite. Whenever that satellite catches the dust, then what happens? Its mass is increasing with respect to time, so that it moves with retardation, negative acceleration. So, we put here negative sign. So, A is equal to what we write here, minus bvq by m, minus bvq divided by m. So, our option is option 2. So, there are two different wires having a length L1 and L2 and respective temperature quotient of linear expansions are alpha 1 and alpha 2 are joined end to end. Then effective temperature quotient of linear expansion is. So, these are the two wires. First wire length has L1 and quotient of linear expansion is alpha 1, and this is the second wire, this length is L2 and quotient of linear expansion is alpha 2. These are joined end to end, these are joined end to end. This is L1 and this is L2. Now, we want to find out what effective quotient of linear expansion. Now, the total length L is equal to what we write here, L1 plus L2. Whenever the temperature increases, these lengths are changes, so that change in length final length L dash is equal to L1 dash plus L2 dash. So what we write here, L dash is equal to we write here L into 1 plus alpha into delta t is equal to L1 dash is equal to what we write L1 into 1 plus alpha 1 into delta t plus L2 into 1 plus alpha 2 into delta t. So here L is equal to what we write here, L is equal to L1 plus L2, L1 plus L2 into 1 plus alpha delta t is equal to here L1 plus L1 alpha 1 delta t plus L2 plus L2 alpha 2 delta t, L2 alpha to delta t. Now here this L1 plus L2, this L1 plus L2 cancel. Here we write another step, L1 plus L2 plus L1 plus L2 into alpha delta t is equal to here L1 plus L2 plus L1 alpha 1 plus L2 alpha 2 into delta t. Okay, right here L1 plus L2 cancel, delta t cancel. Now we write alpha is equal to L1 alpha 1, L1 alpha 1 plus L2 alpha 2 divided by L1 plus L2. So this is effective quotient of linear expansion when they are concurrent series. So our option is option 1. Option 1. Here in this problem, in the circuit given in the figure, currents in the different branches and value of one resistor are shown. Then the potential at point B with respect to A is. That means they ask VB minus VA. VB minus VA. So apply KVL equation. Now we start point here. So VA. So inside the battery we are going. This is 1 volt, negative to positive. So that 1 volt. So this is 1 ampere current. Here comes out as a 2 amperes. That is, this is also a 1 ampere. So here the resistance is 2 ohms. So we are going opposite to the direction of current. So that 2 into 1 2. So here, so we are choosing this path A, C, D, B. So here we are going inside the battery from positive to negative, that is minus 2 is equal to VB. So here VB minus VA, potential B with respect to A, that is equal to 1 volt. So our option is plus 1 volt, option 3. Option 3. Now this question also solved with another method, distribution of potentials. Distribution of potentials very easily. Now this voltage is nothing but 0 and this end is 1 volt. This end is 1 volt and this is also a 0. Here in between C and D this is a 2 volt. That means here this end becomes 3 volts. This end becomes 3 volts. Here there is a 2 volts. There is a 2 volts. That means here this is 1 volt. That means here VB minus VA is equal to how much? 1 volt. 1 volt. The potential of B with respect to A, that is equal to how much? 1 volt. So now let us discuss another question. Here there is a graph between velocity and time. Velocity and time. The velocity and time graph of a body is straight line motion is shown in the figure. The figure S is at 4.33 seconds. The total distance covered by the body in 6 seconds. they ask total distance covered by the body. Right. Now, so this is a graph. So this point up to 3 seconds to this point, we assume as the time is t. Assume as time is t. Already this time is given in the question paper, but that is given in decimal 4.33. So by doing the calculation, it is very difficult. So we assume the time up to this 3 to this point is t. So here this is 4 and this is 5 and this is 6. So this spot is how much time? 3 minus t. This total time is 3 and we subtract t from 3, then this length becomes 3 minus t. Right. Now we want to find out t. What is meant by t? So these are the similar triangles. So we compare the sides ratio. So what we get here, vertical side is 4 by on the second triangle vertical side is 2 is equal to the horizontal side t by this horizontal side. This is how much here? From 5 to 6, this is 1. Okay, this total length is nothing but how much? 3 minus t. That means this is 2 minus t. 2 minus t. 2 minus t. So here we get 4 minus 2t. So here 2 ones are 2 twos are. So 4 minus 2t is equal to t. 4 is equal to 3t. T is equal to how much we get? 3 by 4. T is equal to we get here 3 by 4. T is equal to 3 by 4. Now whenever we by calculating area under this line, we get distance. We get distance traveled by the body in total 6 seconds. So this is this area assume as A1, this area assume as A2, and this area is A3, and this area is A4. Okay. Now what is A1 here? A1 is equal to half base into height. That is equal to half base 2 into height. That is equal to 4. Now A2 is equal to, that is rectangle length into breadth, that is 1 into 4, that is equal to 4. A3 is equal to what we write here? Half base into height. Of base means t, that is equal to 4 by 3 into height, that is equal to 4. 2, that is equal to 8 by 3. A4 is equal to area of the triangle. A4 is equal to half base. Base is nothing but 3 minus t means how much? 4 by 3. Okay, 3 minus 4 by 3 into height 2. 2 to cancel, that is equal to 9 minus 4. 9 minus 4, that is equal to 5. That is equal to 5 by 3. So total distance is equal to, total distance traveled by the body is equal to 6 seconds. We add these areas, 4 plus 4 plus 8 by 3 plus 5 by 3. So 8 plus 8 by 3 plus 5 by 3. So we take LCM is equal to how much? 3. LCM is equal to 3. So here 24 plus 8 plus 5, that is equal to 37 by 3. 37 by 3 meters. So what is our option here? Option 1 is the correct answer. Now let us see another problem. An infinite long straight wire carrying current I, one side opened a rectangular loop, and a conductor C with a sliding connector are located in the same plane as shown in the figure. The connection has length L. The connection has length L. This is one side opening rectangular loop. The container has length L and resistance R. The connector has this is the length L, okay, and resistance R. Okay, it is moving with its sides to the right with a velocity how much? V. The resistance of the conductor and the self inductance of the loop are negligible. The induced current in the loop as a function of separation of R between the connector and the straight wire is. Connector and straight wire is. So this is a length. This is the distance between connector and straight wire, that is R. So this is a connector whose connector has length L and resistance R. This is moving with velocity V. Now what they ask here, the induced current in the loop. The induced current in the loop as a function of separation R between the connector and straight wire is. Now whenever a current is passing through this infinite conductor, there is a magnetic field is developed. That magnetic field is B equal to mu naught I by 2 pi R. In that magnetic field developed by this infinite conductor, there is a connector is present. That connector is moving with velocity V. We know that here I is equal to induced current I is equal to induced EMF by R. So here whenever a conductor of length L is moving in a magnetic field B with a velocity V, then induced EMF is developed is E is equal to BLV divided by R. So I is equal to, now substitute B in this equation, that is equal to mu naught I by 2 pi R into L into V divided by capital R. L into V divided by capital R. So our option is, so this is our answer, option 1. Our option is option 1, mu naught I V L by 2 pi into capital R into small r. So another problem is, in adiabatic process, the density of diatomic gas becomes 32 times its initial value. The final pressure of the gas is found to be n times the initial pressure. The value of n is, we know that in adiabatic process PV to the power of gamma is equal to constant. So we know that here P into volume, we write density, mass by density whole to the power of gamma, that is equal to constant. Here P by rho is constant. P by rho whole to the power of gamma is constant. That means here P by, so here I write a mistake, I do mistake. P by rho to the power of gamma is equal to constant. So P proportional to rho to the power of gamma. P1 by P2 is equal to rho 1 by rho 2 whole to the power of gamma. Since it is a diatomic gas, gamma is equal, we know that 7 by 5. 7 by 5. So here the final pressure of a gas is found to be n times the initial pressure. That means P2 is equal to Np. So here P by Np is equal to rho 1. So the density of the diatomic gas becomes 32 times of its initial value. So this is rho by 32 rho whole to the power of gamma. Cancel. Now we want to find out what Np by P is equal to 32 whole to the power of gamma. Pp cancel. N is equal to, here this can be written as 2 to the power of 5 and gamma is equal to 7 by 5. 5 cancel. Now we write here the value of n is 2 to the power of 7, that is equal to what we get here, 128. 128. So our option is option 4. Option 4. Now let us discuss another question. A galvanometer is used in a laboratory for detecting null point in a electric experiments. If on passing current of 6 milliamperes, it produces a diffraction of 2 degrees. Its a figure of merit is close to. So, deflection in one scale, deflection of one scale division per degree, that is known as figure of merit. Figure of merit is figure of merit in galvanometer is reciprocal of sensitivity of a galvanometer. Sensitivity of a galvanometer. We know that current sensitivity is equal to, we write theta by I. So, that is reciprocal, that means figure of merit is equal to, we write here I by theta. That means I is equal to how much? 6 milliamperes, 6 into 10 power minus 3 amperes. Theta is equal to how much? 2 degrees. That is equal to what we get here? 3 into 10 power minus 3 ampere per division. This is very easy question. So, our option is option 2. So, in the given circuit shown, charge on the 5 microfarad capacitor is. You want to find out charge on the 5 microfarad capacitor. So, we can easily solve this problem by applying KCL. Kirchhoff current law. The algebraic sum of the charges at any junction is 0. Now, we solve this problem by using distribution of potentials. So, this is 6 volts battery, that means this is 0 volt and this is 6 and this is also 6. So, this is 6 volts battery, that is 6 here, this end becomes 6, this also 6, there is no potential drop. Now, here we take this junction, the algebraic sum of the all charges at any junction is 0. We know that Q is equal to CV, that means here the charge in this branch, potential difference V minus 6 into 2 plus the charge in this branch V minus 0 into 5 plus the charge in this branch, potential difference V minus 6 into 2 is equal to 0. The algebraic sum of the all charges at any junction is 0. So, here 2V minus 12 plus 5V plus 2V minus 12 is equal to 0. So, here what we get here, 5V plus 2V, 7V plus 2V, 9V here 2V, 7 plus 2, 9. So, here we write a mistake here, this is a 4 microfarad capacitor. So, that here we write V minus 6 into 4 CV. That means here this is 4V and this is 24. 4V minus 24 is equal to 0. So, what is the total voltage here? 2V plus 5V, 7V, 7V plus 4V, that is 11V. Okay, minus 12 minus 24 minus 36 is equal to 0. 11V is equal to 36, V is equal to 36 by 11. So, the potential difference across 5 microfarad capacitor is 36 by 11. Now, charge on 5 microfarad capacitor, Q is equal to CV, that is equal to 5 into 36 by 11, that is equal to how much we get 180 by 11. By solving this we get 16.36 microcoulomb. This is the answer. So, our option is option 4. So, a parallel plate capacitor has a plate of length L, width W. Now, and separation of plate is D. it is connected to a battery of EMF V. A dielectric slab of same thickness D and of dielectric constant K is equal to 4 is being inserted between the plates of the capacitor. At what length of the slab inside the plates will the energy stored in the capacitor has be 2 times the initial energy stored, 2 times initial energy stored. So, this is a parallel plate capacitor. This parallel plate capacitor is connected to a battery. So, what is the length of this parallel plate capacitor L? The width is equal to W, length is equal to L. The distance between them is D, 2 plates is D. So, there is a air medium is present. Now, the capacity of initial capacity of this parallel plate capacitor L into W epsilon naught by D. Area A into epsilon naught by D, area means length into width. Now, this capacitor in this capacitor parallel plate capacitor, there is a dielectric slab is placed. Dielectric slab is placed in between plate of capacitor of width, the length is D, length is D. So, this total length is equal to how much? L. This dielectric is placed up to what length? X. Up to what length? X. That means the remaining half of becomes is equal to how much? L minus X. L minus X. Total length is L. Up to length X, a dielectric constant K is inserted. So, at what length of the dielectric constant will be the energy is double that of initial energy. That means U final is equal to 2 into U initial, 2 into U initial. Now, this combination is behaves like a 2 capacitors connected in parallel. Why? Because this end is connected to the positive terminal and this end is connected to the negative terminal. So, this is the combination of 2 capacitors, they are connected in parallel. Now, here UF, that means of CV square, energy stored in a capacitor. C means total capacity, that is C1 plus C2. This is C1 and this is C2. That is here, what is the length here? X, X into width W. So, what is the dielectric constant here? K. Dielectric constant is nothing but how much? K. K X W epsilon naught by D. There is no change in D plus. So, the length of the remaining capacitor is L minus X, that is in air medium, width is W into epsilon naught by the gap is same D. This is the total capacity into V square, this is V square. Okay, that is equal to 2 into U initial of C, that is equal to here L W epsilon naught by D into V square, into V square. Now, here what they cancel here? V square cancel and off cancel. Okay. So, omega W epsilon naught by D, W epsilon naught by D, W epsilon naught by D cancel. So, here what is the value of K here? The dielectric constant K is 4. That means, here what we write here? 4x plus 4x plus L minus x, L minus x is equal to what we write here? 2L. So, 3x is equal to, so L. So, x is equal to what we write here, x is equal to L by 3. That means, whenever we place a dielectric up to a length x is equal to L by 3, then final energy becomes 2 times of initial energy. So, this is the answer of this question. Okay, now let us discuss another question. A radioactive nucleus decays by 2 different processes. The half-life for the first process is 10 seconds and the half-life for the second one is 100 seconds. Then effective half-life of a nucleus is close to. Okay, this is 14th problem. Effective half-life. Effective half-life means here. So, this is a radioactive nucleus A. This can be decays as B. Okay. What is the half-life? T off is equal to 10 seconds. So, this also decays as C with half-life T off is equal to 100 seconds. This is called in radioactivity successive disintegration. Successive disintegration. So, the decay constant is lambda 1, this is decay constant is lambda 2. Now, lambda effective is equal to what we write here, lambda 1 plus lambda 2. So, here lambda equivalent is equal to, we know that lambda is equal to what we write here, ln 2 by T1 plus ln 2 by T2. Half-life, T1 means here half-life. So, here lambda equivalent is equal to what we write here, ln 2 by effective half-life by T is equal to ln 2 by T1 plus ln 2 by T2. That means 1 by T is equal to what we write here, 1 by T1 plus 1 by T2. So, T is equal to, we write here T1 T2 divided by T1 plus T2. T1 T2 divided by T1 plus T2. So, T is equal to here T1 T2, that is equal to 10 into 100 divided by 110. So, here 0 0 cancel. Here we get 100 by 11. 100 by 11 means we write 9.09 seconds. 9.09 seconds. So, our option is option 4. Option 4. 9. How much? 09 seconds. 9.09 seconds. So, this is the correct option. So, let us discuss another problem here. A driver in a car approaching a vertical wall notices that frequency of his car horn has changed from 440 Hz to 480 Hz when it gets reflected from the wall. If the speed of the sound in air is 345 meter per second, then the speed of sound in the car, speed of the car is right here. So, this is a car. So, here a driver in this car approaching vertical wall. This is wall. This is a wall. Approaching with a velocity Vc. So, whenever this sound reaches to wall, it reflected again. The driver in the car listen with a frequency 480 Hz. 480 Hz. What is the original frequency here? N is equal to 440 Hz. 440 Hz. Now, this problem can be solved in two ways, in two cases. Case 1. What is the case 1 here? Here the core is a source and the wall is observer, stationary observer. Core is a source and wall is a observer. So, source is observing, source is approaching stationary observer. So, apparent frequency hit by the wall or received detected by the wall n dash is equal to nV by V minus Vs. nV by V minus Vs. This is the formula. So, n dash is equal to here n means 440 into V, V means velocity of sound, V minus this is Vc. This is a Vc equation, this is 1. So, in case 2, what happens here in case 2 that sound is reaches to wall and reflected. Okay, but the observer in the car listen this frequency as 480 Hz. 480 Hz that is n double dash. Apparent frequency heard by the observer, that is equal to n into. In second case, this wall acts as a source. This wall acts as a source, and this core acts as a observer. That observer is moving towards stationary source. That means the formula is n into V plus V naught by V. Here, in the second case, this wall is a source, that is at rest. N double dash is equal to here n dash into V plus V naught by V. Now, n double dash is equal to what is n dash here? N dash is equal to here 440 into V by V minus Vc into here V plus V naught, that means that core Vc divided by V. Here V cancel. So, n double dash is equal to here 440 by V minus Vc. V minus Vc means 345 minus Vc into 345 plus Vc. So, here n double dash is equal to how much here? N double dash is equal to that is equal to 480 is equal to 440 into 345 plus Vc divided by 345 minus Vc. Right, here 480 divided by 440 is equal to 345 plus Vc divided by 345 minus Vc. Now 0 cancel, 4 12s are 4 11s are 4 12s are 4 11s are here. So, we get by doing cross multiplication here 12 into 345 minus Vc is equal to 11 into 345 plus Vc. So, 12 into 345 minus 11 into 345 is equal to what we write here 23 Vc. So, 345 is equal to 23 Vc. So, Vc is equal to what we write here 345 divided by 23. So, clearly this 23 cancel in 345 15 times 15 meter per second. So, here the answer is given in kilometer per hour. So, Vc is equal to 15 into 18 by 5. So, 5 3s are. So, that is equal to 54 kilometer per hour. So, our option is 3. Option 3. This is the answer. Now, let us discuss another question here. What is that question? An iron rod of volume 10 to the power of minus 3 meter cube and relative permeability 1000 is placed as core in a solenoid with 10 tons per centimeter. If current of 0.5 amperes is passed through solenoid, then the magnetic moment of the rod will be. Magnetic moment of the rod will be. So, here this is a solenoid. This is a solenoid. So, in this solenoid there is a iron rod is inserted. Iron rod is inserted. Of volume is equal to how much? 10 to the power of minus 3 meter cube. Permeability, relative permeability mu r is equal to how much? 1000. Is placed in a core of solenoid with a number of tons per centimeter. N is equal to how much? 10 tons per centimeter. That is equal to here 10 tons per centimeter means 1000 tons per meter. 1000 tons per meter. Now, we want to find out what is the current passing through this solenoid. The current is passing through this solenoid is 0.5 amperes. 0.5 amperes. Then the magnetic moment of the rod will be. Whenever the current is passing through the solenoid, magnetic field is developed by the solenoid. So, this is a ferromagnetic material. This ferromagnetic material is placed inside a solenoid, so that this ferromagnetic material, iron rod, becomes a magnet. Now, we want to find out magnetic moment of that iron rod. We know that formula, susceptibility is equal to magnetic moment, magnetization by magnetic field intensity, where H is the magnetic field intensity, M is the magnetization. M is the magnetization. And here the magnetic field intensity H is equal to Ni. Magnetic field intensity H is equal to how much? N into I. So, here, so magnetization means what? Magnetic moment per unit volume. That is magnetization. That is the magnetization. So, here Xi is equal to magnetic moment per unit volume divided by Ni. So, magnetic moment mu by V is equal to Xi into Ni. Xi into Ni. Here magnetic moment is equal to Xi into NiV. So, there is a relationship between relative permeability and susceptibility. Xi is equal to mu r plus 1. So, mu r is equal to Xi minus 1. Mu r is equal to Xi minus 1 and Xi is equal to, there is a relationship, that is mu r minus 1, mu r is equal to Xi plus 1. So, here magnetic moment is equal to, magnetic moment of iron rod is equal to, Xi means here mu r minus 1 into N means number of turns per meter, that is equal to 10 cube into here I, that is magnetization. I is equal to how much here? That is equal to here N into I. Sorry, here I is equal current, that is equal to 0.5 and volume is 10 to the power of minus 3. So, magnetic moment is equal to mu r minus 1, mu r minus 1, that is equal to 1000 minus 1, that is equal to 999 into this 10 cube into 10 to the power of minus, this is 0.5. What we get here? 499.5. So, we nearly equal to 500, that is equal to 5 into 10 square ampere meter square. So, our option is what we get here? Option 3. Option 3. Now, let us discuss another question. Two coherent sources of sound S1 and S2 produce sound waves of the same wavelength lambda is equal to 1 meter in phase. S1 and S2 are placed 1.5 meter apart. A listener located at L directly in front of S2. Here he is a listener, this is a point L. In front of S2 finds that intensity is at minimum when he is 2 meter away from S2, 2 meter away from S2. So, this is S2 and this is S1. The listener moves away from S1, keeping his distance from S2 is fixed. The adjacent maximum of intensity is observed when the listener is at a distance d from S1, then d is. So, S2 finds that the intensity is minimum when he is at a 2 meter away from S2. The listener moves away from S1, okay, and keep his distance from S2 fixed. Keep his distance from S2 is fixed, right. Okay. So, here he is a listener. Initially the listener is exactly in front of S2 at a distance 2 meter at a position L. He hears the minimum sound. Now, the listener moves along this path and reaches to this point. Again, the distance between listener and S2 remains fixed, 2 meters. He hear maximum sound, here maximum sound, here maximum sound. So, now the distance of this listener when he reaches to this point from S1 is how much? That is we are going to find out, right. When listener is at position L, he listen minimum sound. What is the path difference? What is the condition for minimum sounds? Delta x is equal to, we know that 2n plus 1 into lambda by 2. What is the path difference between the waves coming from S2 and S1, S2 and S1? So, path difference, that is here this distance is nothing but how much? Square root of 1.5 square plus 2 square, that is equal to how much here? 2.5 meters, 2.5 meters. So, path difference, that is equal, path difference between waves coming from S1 and S2, that is equal to 2.5 minus 2 is equal to 2n plus 1 into, what is the wavelength 1 by 2. 2.5 means how much? 2.5 means 2.5 means that is 1 by 2 is equal to 2n plus 1 into 1 by 2. 2 cancel. So, here 2n plus 1 is equal to 1, 2n is equal to 0, n is equal to 0. That means he listen first minimum. This is first minimum, n is equal to 0. After first minimum, he listen first maximum, that means first maximum. So, when he reaches to this position, the path difference coming from the waves delta x is equal to n lambda, condition for maximum, So, delta x means here this is 2 meters and the distance of the person from the S1 is d. So, d minus 2 is equal to 1 into 1, n is the first maximum. How can you say? He listen here first minimum sound, n is equal to 0 means first minimum sound. After first minimum there is a first maximum. Well, the first minimum sound location is exactly below the central maximum, so, below here there is a central maximum. there is a central maximum. Here this is the first minimum and this is the first maximum. So, d is equal to what we get here, 2 plus 1, that is equal to 3 meters. So, whenever he listen a maximum sound, he is at a distance d, that means 3 meters from S1, This is the correct answer. So, our option is option 3. So, another problem is the quantities x is equal to 1 by square root of mu naught epsilon naught, y is equal to E by B and z is equal to 1 by CR. Okay. Now, which of the following option is correct? There are 4 options given. Only y and z have same dimension. Second option, x, y, z have same dimension. Third option, only x and y have same dimension. Fourth option, only x and z have same option. Clearly, we know that x is equal to square root of 1 by mu naught epsilon naught, means this is velocity of light. So, x is velocity of light. This is also, we know that in electromagnetic equation E by B is equal to c. This is also velocity of light. This is time constant in CR circuit. So, clearly we can conclude that x and y have same dimensions. So, our correct option is, what are the correct options? Option 3. That is our correct option. Next question. The acceleration due to gravity on earth surface at the poles is g, and angular velocity of the earth about the axis passing through the pole is omega. An object is weighing at the equator and at a height h above the poles by using spring balance. If the weights are found to be same, then h is, what is the height of the h? H less than r. Here this is a earth and this is pole and this is the position, equator position. So, here by using the spring balance, when we measure weight of the object, it is observed that weight of the object is same at both positions. Weight of the object is same at both positions. That means mg1, weight of the object at the equator, is equal to mg2. Assume that acceleration due to gravity at poles g2, acceleration due to gravity at equator is g1. So, these weights are equal. Here at the equator, we know that g1 is equal to g minus r omega square cos square phi. Phi is the latitude. So, phi value is 0 at equator. So, g1 is equal to g minus r omega square cos 0, equation 1. But whereas at g2, at a height, whereas this point at a height h from the poles, there is no rotational effect. Why? Because here latitude is 90, but here the variation of g is due to its height only, not due to the rotation effect. Why? Because here this point lies exactly on the axis of rotation, So, g2 is equal to, here we write g into 1 minus 2h by r. Why we write this? This already in the problem they given h less than r. For smaller heights we use this formula. So, now substitute these values in the first equation. So, m into g1, g minus r omega square is equal to m into g2, g minus 2hg by r. Can cancel. So, here g minus r omega square is equal to g minus 2hg by r. G cancel, minus cancel. So, here h is equal to what we get here, r square omega square divided by g, r square omega square divided by g. So, our option is option 1. Now, let us discuss another problem. The surface of a metal is illuminated alternatively with photons of energies 4 electron volts, and E2 is, this is E1, E2 2.5 electron volts, 2.5 electron volts. The surface is illuminated with these energies of light. The ratio of maximum speeds of the photoelectrons emitted in two cases is 2. The work function of the metal is dash, in electron volts dash. So, this is E1 and this is E2. Whenever the light of this energy is incident on a metal, no doubt there is electrons are liberated. Okay. Now, we know that Einstein equation of mv square, mv maximum square is equal to E minus work function W, E minus work function W. So, here metal is same. So, nature of the work function is also same. Also, we know that here V maximum 1 square by V maximum 2 square is equal to E1 minus W by E2 minus W. So, what is the ratio here they given? They given the ratio is 2, but whenever we take V1 by V2 whole square, that becomes 4. 4 is equal to E1. E1 means how much? 4 minus W divided by, this is 2.5 minus W. So, 10 minus 4W is equal to 4 minus W. So, 6 is equal to 3W. So, W is equal to 2 electron volt. W is equal to how much? 2 electron volt. So, W is equal to, that is equal to electron volts. So, our option, there is no option, this is an integer type of question. So, our correct option is 2 electron volts, correct answer is. Okay, next question. A prism of angle A is equal to 1 degree, A is equal to how much? 1 degree, has refractive index mu is equal to 1.5. That means this is a small angle prism, angle A is equal to 1 degree, small angle prism. Minimum angle of deviation is close to n by 10, n by 10. That means d is equal to n by 10 they given. What is the value of n? What is the value of n? We know that d is equal to mu minus 1 into a for small angle prism. So, that is equal to 1.5 minus 1 into a 1. So, dm is equal to what we get here 0.5, that is equal to 5 by 10, that is equal according to given problem what they given n by 10. So, what we write here, n is equal to 5, n is equal to 5. Okay, next problem. A body of mass 2 kg is driven by an engine delivering a constant power 1 joule per second. So, this is power they given 1 joule per second, mass they given 2 kg. The body starts from rest and moves in a straight line. After 9 seconds, the body has moved a distance, 9 seconds. So, we know that work done per unit time, power is equal to work done per unit time. So, power into time is equal to work done. So, here 1 into this is T is equal to work done, that is equal to change in kinetic energy. Initially, the kinetic energy of a body is 0. So, half mv square minus 0, that is equal to half mv square, half mv square, right. Now, here 1 into T of m means how much? 2 into v square, 2 to cancel, v square is equal to T, v is equal to square root of T. V is equal to square root of t. V means what? Velocity. Velocity is equal to what? Rate of change in displacement. ds by dt is equal to root t. So ds is equal to root t dt. Root t dt. So now we integrate above equation. So integration of ds is equal to integration of root t dt up to 0 to 9. That is equal to, this is S, total displacement. So what we write here, this is integration of 1 by 2 means 1 by 2 plus 1, that is equal to 3 by 2 divided by 3 by 2. So S is equal to 2 by 3 into t to the power of 3 by 2. So here S is equal to 2 by 3 into t means what? 9, 3 by 2. 2 by 3 into, this is 3 square, 3 by 2. Okay. So that is equal to 2 by 3 into 27. So 3 nines are, that is equal to 18 meters. 18 meters. So this is the displacement of a body in 9 seconds. Okay, next let us solve next question. A thin rod of mass 0.9 kg and length 1 meter is suspended at rest. This is thin rod whose length is how much? 1 meter, and mass is how much? 0.9 kg. So that it can oscillate freely in vertical plane. A particle moves 0.1 kg. This is a particle which moves, the mass is nothing but 0.1 kg in a straight line with a velocity how much? 80 meter per second, and hits the rod at its bottommost point and strikes to it. The angular speed of the rod immediately after collision will be. After collision, what happens? This rod sticks, this particle sticks to the rod, and both are moving with the same angular speed. So the angular momentum is conserved about hinge. So L initial is equal to L final. Initially the particle is moving with velocity how much? 80 meter per second. mvr is equal to final. Whenever this particle collide with this rod, it sticks to the rod and both are moving with the common angular speed. So that is equal to here I omega. mvr is equal to I omega. M means 0.1 kg into V means 80, R means this is 1 meter, is equal to I. Moment of inertia of a rod about one end, that is equal to ml square by 3 plus moment of inertia of this particle, that is equal to what we write here? mr square into omega. So 0.1 into 80 into 1 is equal to here ml square by 3, that means 0.9, L square means 1 square by 3 plus m mass of the particle, that is equal to 0.1 into r square 1 square into omega. So here this is 8. Now this is 3 by 10 and this is 1 by 10 into omega. So 8 is equal to what we write here? 4 by 10 into omega. So omega is equal to 80 by 4, that is equal to 20 radians per second. So this is integer type question, nitrogen molecule. So RMS speed formula, what is the formula here? 3 RT by m. VH is equal to square root of 3 R T H by mH. Next, RMS speed of nitrogen is equal to square root of 3 R T n by mn. So, these two are equal, these two are equal. So, here 3 R T H by mH is equal to square root of 3 R T n, the temperature of the nitrogen, mn, cancel, TH the temperature, that is we are going to determine, mH molecular weight, that is 2 is equal to Tn, that is equal to the given Tn, temperature of nitrogen 300 degrees centigrade, 300 plus 273, that is equal to 573 Kelvin. So, 573 by Mn 28. So, TH is equal to 2 into 573 divided by 28, 2 1s are 2 14s are. So, finally, we got here 40.92 Kelvin on doing the calculation, nearly equal to 41 Kelvin. 41 Kelvin. So, this is the JEE main paper, shift to 2, September 5.